All the answers you need to know. Watch now, the Internet Dad Show. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way. Inspire with us tomorrow's news today. Oh yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Jason. That's Deacon. We are your internet dads. I'm sure Dave will. No, Dave won't be here because he's camping, right? Isn't Dave camping?
I don't think it's this weekend.
Okay, well, who knows? Maybe Dave may show up. I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on. We're continuing a conversation that we started. It was a couple of days. It was Wednesday, Tuesday, 2020. I don't know. I don't know when we started doing this. Anyway, we meet here most mornings to drink coffee and talk about the news, see what's going on.
Yesterday
Good
was
morning, sir.
Mrs. JJW's birthday. Happy birthday to Mrs. JJW. I hope she had a great one.
Yes. I think she had a pretty good birthday. It started with like kicking the kids out the door. Y'all go to school. Get out of here. And then she got a couple of little presents or whatever. But then we ran around and did a bunch of stuff, and we ended up going like morning coffee, just like running around, dude. And then I did a bunch of chores for her, which she really liked. So she went to a meeting, and I did pick up the groceries and
that's what I was getting at. That's you did exactly right. I think your wives just want you to be attentive and present. Especially on their birthday. Just do something nice. Ashley's shoulders always bother her, like up here. And I know that I could like get a baseball bat and her shoulders at any time, and she'd be like, ah. So, when she had that rough day, I like to, the little things like that really make a difference, I think.
Well, we ended up having a pretty great day. And then last night we went to a fancy dinner. We went to a place called Fogo de Chao.
Ooh,
Fogo de Chao. Yep. You ever heard of that?
No.
It's where they walk around with fancy meats on sticks, and they walk to your plate and they slice a little bit off if you want.
Wow,
So
that sounds disgusting.
No, it's great. It's Brazilian. There was like bacon wrapped chicken. If you're into steak, they had like all kinds of steaks and stuff like that. We really liked it.
It was delicious.
It was so good. So we had a great time yesterday. And
so was the meat not like
after?
So it was high quality. It wasn't like street meat that they're just cutting off a stick.
It was so good. It was so good and so greasy. They had this pork belly. Fried pork belly when you put honey on it, and you're like, honey on pork.
Yeah, but that's good.
You don't know. It was so good. And then and they had this fried cheese, same thing. It was just it's so delicious. And then I took her out shopping. We come home, we go to bed, and like 4 a.m, I'm like, oh, my tummy a little bit, and I roll over and I burp. And my wife is like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
So you can feel
she was like, oh my God, good God.
You can feel the stomach rumbling. You can tell when it's going to be a bad one because your stomach is just like kind of burning.
Asleep. It's not my fault. I was asleep. How am I supposed to be? She was like, power of Christ compels you.
Turn on the fan and it still didn't do anything.
Yeah, no. She got up and left the house. She got up and left the house. So we had a fun day yesterday.
I love fart jokes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So let me tell you this. This is funny. I'm just over the years, I've become lactose intolerant. I used to could drink like a whole gallon of milk. I love milk. I love the taste of milk. I still love the taste of milk. Pasteurized cow milk. I like the taste of it. I like the taste of goat's milk a little bit, but it's a little different. But over the years, I've become a little lactose intolerant, and I know now that I can drink a glass of milk about this much of a glass of milk, and it will get my stomach right to the point to where it's not going to completely go overboard, but it's going to cause some really smelly
Right.
It's some really nasty ones, man. I know I have to gauge my limit now of milk that
I
I can
apologized.
drink a day.
I apologized. I just don't think I could have apologized enough because that burp knocked her out of the house. Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
She called her mom about it. She got up and called her mom about it. Why did you let me marry this man? Why didn't you warn me?
No, I said, end quote, I guess my princess birthday day is over.
Oh, well, yeah, that was
Directly in my face that made me want to throw up and get out of bed. But I was snoozing it, so it got me out of bed and got me to the gym and doing all that other stuff. But geez, you've never done that before. Like directly in my, you coughed directly in my face in your sleep.
It was the pork belly.
Room. It was terrible.
It was the pork
considered
belly.
ending our marriage of 20 years.
That was a good burp.
Princess day is over.
All right. Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Okay, go. What do you want to do for news? Because we got the assassin. We probably haven't talked about. I don't think we've got Bitcoin hitting 100,000.
Yeah, we did not. Bitcoin's got over 100,000. Jeez. Yeah, I saw it the other day when it was at 98,000.
You know what I saw? In my first thought when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's a lot for a Bitcoin. And I was like, I remember in like 2011 where I almost put like $100 into Bitcoin and bought a Bitcoin for like $100.
And I've told this story. My kids know this story. Ashley knows this story. I say it all the time when we get on this subject, and because this is a flat out 1,000% true story. I have a friend that I've known for about 25 years. We met doing part-time in radio, and he was just a kid then, but he was a really smart, nerdy kid, and he started this computer business. Well, 25 years later, he has a very successful, IT business here in the county. And he told me back when Bitcoin first started, when nobody even knew about Bitcoin, he came up to me because he was the IT kid, and he came up to me and he was like, Andy, man, you've got to look into this Bitcoin. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, a buddy of mine has went and bought like a Jaguar, and he paid like 17 Bitcoin for this $30,000 car or something like that.
God.
At the time, it was like 14 to 17 Bitcoins, what he said, to pay for this car. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was explaining it. You got to mine it, and you got to do this, and you got to do this. And I had no clue what he was talking about. It's like, how do you mine? What do you mean? I never looked it up.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've watched Bitcoin go and go and go and go. And I go back and I think, man, if I would have looked that up and took interest, because he told me about that way back in the day, back in the day.
I remember being in grad school and just reading like Ars Technica and Engadget and stuff like that, and reading about Bitcoin. And I just looked it up. The price of Bitcoin in 2012 was $13.45, which was about the time that I was living over that a ways in Houston. And I remember like thinking like, wow, if I don't have two sticks to rub. I don't have any money. I have debt.
Right.
I have a ton of debt. So I'm not spending any money on Bitcoin. That was a mistake.
I own a little Bitcoin.
A little.
A little. 0.00002.
Yeah.
Which is worth about $2.35.
I'll keep it.
Yeah.
Keep going. Hey,
well, I've got other cryptos that.
Well,
are
speaking
doing
of
great
other
right now.
cryptos, I want to get together with you out of show so that you can show me
How
what
much
I need
pie
to
are
do.
you up to?
I'm not huge. I'm only at 18.
Dude, I'm at 140 something.
I've only got you and Ashley on my little network.
What are you guys
though.
talking about?
So there is a crypto called Pi that Dave sent out to us like last year, and he kept poking me, dude.
Put it in the Discord server.
Yeah, so I finally was like, fine, I'll download this, because all you got to do is open it once a day. It reminds you, open it, hit a button, hit another button, and then an ad comes up.
It uses your phone to mine.
It
But
uses
it
your
uses
phone
very
to
little
mine.
battery.
I have 18.11373 Pi. And from what I've tried to look at, when it comes onto the market, it's going to be about what, $13 a piece?
40.
Oh, 40.
and that was before the like crazy spike. Forbes had it listed around 85 at one point recently, but I think it's back down to around the 40 range.
So
Is it
40
not on the
apiece,
market yet?
and I've got 18.
They've been working at it. It was MIT created it, a guy from MIT. So it's legit. Like I said, it's tracked on Forbes. I found out about it through some connections I have.
You have it on the Discord server right now?
I'll throw it on there.
I'm curious.
And the
Hey,
more
I've got
people that you have
145
under
Pi.
you, the more it's kind of like the torrents. I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's kind of like torrents. You know what torrents in
There,
that
general.
if you're trying to download a song and me and
Oh, they
Dave
give that a
have the
Pi
song,
now.
you download bits from both of us. So the more people you have, the faster everybody mines.
Right.
That's why Dave's
And
at
they're actually
140
giving
something.
you
I'm at
1
18.
Pi. But
Yeah.
I've been doing this for like over a year now.
Yeah, he's been doing it
like
for a
2
longer
years.
time, and I forget days. Like
I
it'll pop
tell my
up and
kids,
it'll.
like, if it doesn't go live, I haven't lost anything.
Yeah, I hadn't done anything but lost like
If
3
it goes
seconds of
live,
hitting it,
dude,
hitting it.
I got
That's
some
it.
money. The greatest ringtone ever.
I really
That
am
is a good
dubious
ringtone.
about all of the cryptocurrencies
This is David.
except for Bitcoin, because I know that Bitcoin was designed with a limit in place, which means it's resistant to inflation. That is, you can't just make extra Bitcoins and therefore devalue what you have. So like it's got a hard limit of there will only be a max of like 21 million Bitcoin. So
Have you
eventually
ever-
it's going to be bonkers.
Have you ever looked into the guy that created Bitcoin or the guy?
Satoshi. He's.
The
You
guy.
can't look into him because they don't know who it is. But
Right. Yeah, it's very interesting.
continue with Facebook. You're already losing
Well,
me here.
we'll do this afterwards.
Yeah.
So check out Pi, Pi, and
Yeah.
it's one that Dave and I have been mining for a while.
All right. Okay.
Speaking of phones and stuff, or do you want to get into the Bitcoin thing, or we want to?
Well, I mean, that's just really the news
The
on
only
that.
thing
I mean,
about
it went up. I mean, like last year it was like 30,000. It's
Yeah.
100,000, and obviously in 2012 it was like $13. So it
So
went
do
from
you all
13
have
bucks
any
per
other
bit.
cryptos?
I think Ashley does.
I don't remember.
I have a bunch of Doge, a bunch of Shinu Ibu.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
see,
one.
that's the thing with all of these
Yeah.
coins, though. They have infinite production, which means that you have like no reserve value. There's no reserve value. As far as I know, I mean, somebody would have to explain it to me. But if you have, let's say you have 100 Doge and there's 1 million Doge out there, okay, but then next year there's 10 million Doge. Well, effectively, the value of your Doge is 10% of what it was already. So, I mean, I don't understand how any of those, and then there's
Magic
so many
money.
of these cryptos.
Magic money.
Hey, how much was that? Hang on, let me see.
Magic beans.
English guy who is looking for his
Oh, his hard drive.
his hard drive full of Bitcoin. Y'all
You're
remember that
looking for
story?
1,000
James
Bitcoin, right?
Howells.
He's never
let's
getting
see.
it back.
Oh, right here. Yeah, the man who accidentally threw away a hard drive containing 8,000 Bitcoin.
What is that?
he
80
is-
million?
He, from what I understand, it's in a landfill, and
Yeah.
he
But
had
what's
been
that, 80
looking.
million?
Yeah,
Gone. The guy screwed up. It's gone.
yeah, it's gone forever, man. So, since we're talking about this technology and stuff, I'll bring this story up first thing here. If JJ's made me moderator.
Oh, of course I had already done that. I don't even know why you even suggest that I wouldn't have already done that. It's obviously already been done.
Did you guys see this yesterday? This warning that the FBI sent
saw
out
it.
about sending text messages with iPhones and Android phones.
Yeah, I saw it like last week.
Yeah, I saw this, and they were basically China has foreign hackers are able to get into the telecommunication companies, some of the major ones.
It's
and-
not Android to Android or iPhone to iPhone. It's Android to iPhone that causes the problem. That's where
okay.
that's where you lose the encryption.
And see that has all we were just talking about this the other day in another subject about how companies don't play well with each other sometimes, and why some Apple people are just like, I hate Samsung and you're stupid. Well, what you don't understand is that those two companies, they did that on purpose so that they couldn't talk to each other on purpose to make it more complicated. If you get into looking at it, it was like they did that as a money making scheme, tool,
Yeah,
or
you
bad
can only buy
idea.
our stuff.
Yeah. Yes. So that's why, and it created animosity, like a crazy animosity society of these Apple people and Samsung people. Like Samsung people are like freaking conservatives. We're like, we don't care. I'm just never going to buy an Apple. But Apple people are like, you suck and need to burn in hell. You know, it's like, what the crap? So
Have I shared with you my my Apple Mark of the Beast story theory?
no.
Oh, so you all know that Adam and Eve, they sinned. The first sin, they supposedly took a bite of.
The apple's
Right,
got a
it's not
bite
an
taken
apple,
out of
but
it.
correct.
Right. It wasn't
Now,
supposed to be an apple.
Mark of the Beast is gonna be on your hand and your forehead, right? When you're on an Apple phone, what is on your hand? What is on your head?
Ooh,
And does this thing not
wow.
track you? Does this thing not track you? This is not an Apple. This is a Pixel. So there you go. Apple is the Mark of the Beast. Enjoy your iPhones.
Yeah,
You heard
but
it here
isn't it
first.
true? So explain to me how it's
I'm
not true
just
that
like-
an Android is on your hand and on your head.
It doesn't symbolize sin like the Apple logo symbolizes sin.
Oh, okay.
I love it when JJ furls his brow.
It's just like
Yeah,
complete.
I'm not convinced.
That is not. Yeah,
I'm not
but
convinced.
I have fun with it. I've had a lot of fun with it.
Did you mess with your camera
Remember-
settings?
Me?
Yeah.
Deke, did you? Because your camera looks better. Well, let me correct myself. It looks clearer. Okay. Hey, send me an.
I'm
Why don't you
just
send
got
me an
itch on my
invitation
chin here.
code for
I
Picorn?
sent it. It's in the general.
That's the.
Just go
Where's
general.
the invitation code?
It's click on that little mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have to type your username. Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
right there.
All right. Good morning, Too Good. Ah, boy. Okay.
All right. Let me see. Let me go down to. I got some other cool stuff here since we're. We didn't talk about. So let's talk about this real quick. Everybody in the world's talked about this. I do not think that this was a professional hit.
Okay. Yeah. The assassination.
I
So,
don't think
2
it was
days
a
ago-
professional hit.
2 days ago, we'll get into that. 2 days ago, the CEO of United Healthcare was assassinated on the streets. I think he was like going to an investment call. He was actually going.
They had a meeting that morning at 8 a.m. He got shot at 7 a.m. and they still had the meeting at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
I thought they didn't. I
Wild.
thought they canceled it.
Oh, I heard that they still had it.
I
I
read
don't
they
know.
canceled it.
Oh, okay. They may have.
So internet sleuths be a sleuthing, trying to figure out who this dude is. There's speculation abounds that it was a professional hitman because
That's not a good stance right there.
I don't think it was a professional hitman. A professional hitman would have not stood there out in the open. He would have gotten up close. He would have made sure it was only one shot, and it wouldn't have been a
He had
professional.
those three. He sent a message to those three because they
Yeah.
were all marked. All the shells were
Yeah,
marked.
right.
They had to be fired.
And I don't know anything about this. I'm just trying to use intelligence here. But what were the three words again? I can't remember what the
Deny. Deny.
something and depose.
Yeah. It is based on the three corporate insurance Ds.
I started to say, I guarantee that is something that had been said in corporate meetings.
Deny, defend, depose.
Yeah, deny, defend, depose. And I guarantee you that was some, thing that they used internally when they had problems or something like that. That was,
That sounds like
delay, deny, defend are the three insurance Ds. Delay, deny, defend.
exactly.
that sounds
rip on
that sounds
those.
like legal strategy of, say, United Healthcare, if they were if they were being sued by somebody, and like potentially a claimant was like, hey, you're
That had
suing, you didn't pay out, and then
that had a
internally
legitimate claim.
internally United Healthcare will be like, just deny the claim and we'll defend the suit, and then we'll depose them and get some information or something. That's kind of like the sentiment that it seems like,
Yeah,
which
that-
makes it
that's
really a
corporate
lot more
insurance.
personal than financially motivated, right?
I don't think it was financially motivated. In my personal opinion on this, I think it was personally motivated. I think this guy had a personal issue with United Healthcare, and he had done his research, and he had found out something about this guy that set his trigger, that pushed him over the edge.
So a couple of things that like, I don't know, red flags for it just being not a hit job, where I'm like, I don't know, man. This guy was super calm and cool.
That's true. He was.
And I mean, he knew exactly where this CEO of a Fortune 500 company would be at just the right moment, because there's nobody else around except for like that bellhop that's there. So I mean, he does it at
Which is
just the right
odd that he
time.
didn't have, a guy worth that much money didn't have at least one bodyguard or somebody like that with him.
He-
Well, you're infamous and you don't run around with a bodyguard, right?
My bodyguard usually sits back here
all
in
of
the
the-
back chair.
I am my own bodyguard.
So what other facts do we have versus like some
But
speculation?
they found
that's
another
been
picture
quoted?
of him. They found a picture of him with his gator mask down.
No,
they found
Possibly.
another picture
Allegedly.
of a potential
Allegedly.
Right.
associate, but
and,
that is
and
not the
from
same
what I
guy.
understand,
wearing the
they
same clothes.
used AI technology to run through all of the cameras, and that was the closest match. The guy that they showed that looked like him. Let me see if it's in this thread here. The guy that they said looked like him, the coat did not match at all.
The coat didn't
And
match.
They're
The
in
shooter
freaking
coat-
New
If the
York.
coat
Didn't
don't match,
have
you
a-
must have quit.
They're in New York, and the one guy was like, dude, if you've never been in New York in the winter, everybody has a face mask and a hood on. Everybody has a face mask. And I was like, I got a good point. I've never been in New York in the winter, but it seems like hell. I
We
just
have friends there
personally
right
don't.
now.
I just personally think this was a guy that had a personal vendetta, and I don't think it was a professional hit
So,
job. A professional wouldn't act
it
like
was,
that.
It was totally premeditated. The
Yeah,
shooting took
absolutely.
place at this
100%.
location.
Yeah,
There was
absolutely.
a
For a long time.
bicycle waiting across the street, so he had
No, it's on the
set
same
up
side of the street. It's in this screen. You can't see it, but it's in this shot.
the
And I've
bike
seen
that he
a,
used to escape.
There was an autistic TikToker from New York, and that's what he does is he like monitors the e-bikes for all over the city, and he was showing that there was only one bike that went this certain direction at this
Right.
one time and whatnot that I was seeing yesterday. That's what this autistic guy does, is sit there and does this all day long in New York
thought-
City, is monitor these e-bikes.
I'm watching that. And so my impression was that he had that after the shooting that he crossed the street and got on the e-bike and went.
No, he
right.
gets on the e-bike and then crosses the street.
So he shoots him through the calf.
Yeah.
15 feet. That's not good.
So the gun
Um,
is a very small
ah.
caliber, suppressed.
see.
It looks like
Mhm.
Is that
suppressed
integrally?
pistol. Most of the 22 ammo is
I was gonna say it's
subsonic,
probably
meaning it doesn't
22.
cross the sound barrier. But what happens is the ammo doesn't have enough to cycle the weapon. So this guy's
Right.
got to cycle the weapon, right? But you see it jams and he's got to hit the back of the slide. 22 is
And he knows what he's
notorious for
doing
not
there.
chambering, right? So he hits the back of the slide so it goes in battery so he can take another shot.
So that's one of the things you do before you take a weapon out on an op like that is you fire it a couple times to make sure it's actually tuned up right.
So you don't think this was fired before then, is what you're saying?
No.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't look
The
like
dude
it.
shooting
or
has
he's rounds maybe.
zero experience with this.
I was
He
gonna
can't-
say-
and he
I
can't fire
wouldn't
the
say it's
weapon very-
zero
I mean-
because he knows to smack it.
He knows to smack it in the back.
Yeah.
even
So
even with 20,
the round didn't fully chamber, and so by smacking it from the back, that forces the
Right.
round to fully chamber, which would be
I-
consistent with like a 22 round that's
Yeah.
low power and or an underpowered 22 round, which is the subsonic ammunition.
Do you think that he's even using maybe a gas powered gun.
Mm,
Doubt it.
I'm not sure about
Do you
that.
think it would with the 22 round? How fast would the gas power come? Well, no, probably
Well,
not.
if you is gas powered, you wouldn't you wouldn't have
he
to
wouldn't
worry
have to
about it
recycle it.
cycling.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
very true. Yeah, very true. Very
No.
true.
And the type of weapon that I've seen proposed is a World War II style suppressed single manual action pistol. So it's very quiet, but it's always it's required to manually cycle it every time because it's low power ammunition or
A
the
22
design.
going off sounds like you hitting a metal trash can with a baseball bat, though. Too, it's probably more decibels hitting the baseball bat.
It's possible he had shot that gun numerous times, but never with the silencer, because silencers are only good for so many shots,
Yeah.
and then you got to get rid of the end.
So the one
Have you
thing
seen-
I thought was very interesting, I wanted to ask y'all about this was the societal response to this. What do you
There are
think?
people offering him room and board.
Like completely
Dude just like
unobjectively,
wholeheartedly killed him.
yeah, from a third person standpoint, you don't lean one way or the next. Wow, what a
Yeah.
freaking experiment that was. You know, it is. We've gotten to. It really makes me look like, are we echoing late 1700s France, and we're fixing to eat the rich?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, the peasants are getting
good-
pissed off, and they're getting mad at Marie Antoinette saying, you know, being so stupid and out of focus with society, saying, well, if they ain't got bread, let them eat cake. Are we getting that way? When I'm looking at these comments coming from every one of these videos, they are brutal.
Well, okay, so here is an example of the proposed weapon that was used. And yeah, you're right. The leftist people, at least on X that I've seen, have been like cheering
There's
on the
still leftists
killer.
on
Yeah,
Twitter, there's still
there's
leftists.
everybody's
Right.
on Twitter. Like even the people that left Twitter are still on Twitter. They're just lying about it. They went to the Chomos went to Blue Sky, but
I don't think it's just the left at all.
So this is the supposed weapon that could have been used, which
Yeah.
is a manual cycle.
And you notice
pistol.
how his right shoulder is back. I don't think that, at least from the video I saw, it looked like he was squared up, completely squared up.
Well, I don't know about his technique.
Well,
but
it's in New
this
York,
is-
so I'm sure
this
if he
is
got
the,
any kind of shooting done, it was at a gun range where he had to square up every single time if he's never shot a gun. You know, if you've never shot a gun and the only time you've ever shot a gun is at a gun range, then every other time you're going to shoot a gun, you're probably going to square up from muscle memory, wouldn't you think?
or to minimize your
I'm
chance
always,
of making an error.
yeah, I don't know if I've ever done this, to be
No,
honest.
okay, so I mean, I'm looking at him right here. He looks like he's got a triangle pose. His left arm is straight, and his right arm is bent somewhat. But it looks like a what's
Okay.
that? It starts with a W.
Weaver?
Well, no,
Weaver stance.
yeah, Weaver. Isn't that the Weaver stance? Honestly, it looks like the Weaver stance. Okay. So the social response. Like, I mean, I'm just maybe this guy is complicit in healthcare. I mean, denying service to
Well, there's some
thousands
people who
or
are saying
millions of
that
people.
it's an inside job because he was getting ready to get the DOJ was getting ready to depose him,
Mhm.
and so some people are
Mhm.
suggesting that it's a United Healthcare person.
United
who is-
Healthcare had these ties with Nancy Pelosi and whatnot back in the day.
I believe that he sold $15 million of stock about like 2 weeks before a some sort of legislative action was going to come down. So he ended up.
And did you hear the
making
audio
a
from his
money.
wife? She was
No.
just like, yeah, we're really sad. Can you please let us have our time?
That could be just be despondent.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, but that's always an excuse that people use. It's like, oh, people
Wow.
grieve differently. That's a generic I understand that, and you are correct, but sometimes you got to put a little freaking microscope on the grieving process, or lack of. All right,
I'm pretty bummed about how blasé a great deal of people are about an assassination, because like once you become blasé to assassination here, the line starts moving. The line of acceptance starts moving. Like, well, it's the CEO.
and that's what I'm
Oh,
talking
you
about. Go back in your
Well-
history books and read the history of France in the 1700s and watch what happened.
What's going on with France right now?
Exactly, it's going on with France
France is-
right now. It's going on
Which
with
is
the world right now.
Why we can't say that this is okay in any regard, in
I'm not
any
saying it's
context, or
okay.
any circumstance.
but
It's fascinating too.
it's like a message.
Like I'm like fascinated by this. Like, oh my word.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at it from because I love history. I love looking at history and going back. I love it. And I'm trying to look at it from somebody 150 years from now, looking back on this. And I'm trying to look at the pieces that were set up, because that's one of my favorite things about history. In history class in high school, they teach you the freaking big main points, and that's all you get, and you move on. But if you go and you look at what caused this, what were the factors that led up to causing this main point you heard about, and this one, and this one, and there's so many of these that are, it's
Right.
it's like I can feel something big happening, because everything is just kind of flowing into place, you know?
I'm not sure if this guy was a pro or like a self-motivated hitter. He was definitely premeditated. I will say this: it's not at all government sponsored or organization pro. We're not talking top pro. And the reason why is this: if it was top pro, that guy would be a junkie, and he would have been paid. And then a couple days later, his body would be found somewhere else from an OD or something like that. I think I heard
Yeah,
Jocko Willink talking about this,
That's a
and
good point.
and
We still might
it would
find this
not-
guy's body somewhere.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, we're only a day away.
yeah, but
They haven't
And
found
as
him.
much
Like,
planning,
it would have never been on camera like this. He wouldn't have
as
done
much
it right here.
planning as we know this guy did, it's
Yeah.
very easy to order a latex masks off eBay
Oh, have you
or
seen those?
Amazon to put
Yeah,
on
yeah,
and then put your
$1,000.
head over, because
he did it with no gloves.
if you did that with all of the,
Look
He
at- look
did
at-
it with no
he did it with no
gloves.
gloves.
that's easy to
Did
get
you not
little
notice that?
fingerless. You can get little things to cover up your fingerprints too.
Or
You
they
can
were
order that
fake.
stuff. You know, if he done that much planning, surely to God he'd know how many video cameras are everywhere in New York City. I'm just
It
saying.
could still be
So-
a setup. Like it could still be a setup.
It
I'm
could
putting my
be a,
tinfoil hat on.
it could be, but we know the e-bike. We know the serial number of the e-bike that he used to get away. Right? So, and he wore no gloves. They should have that
How
bike
many
in
people
evidence
have-
already.
How many people have touched that bike though?
No,
I don't
kidding.
know, some,
Right.
but he probably, like, that doesn't mean that there's no evidence there, and they should have like some leads from that. They should have.
I got a cool story for
gloves.
y'all.
That's
I'm gonna change the
crazy.
subject.
Go
I
for
want you to.
All right.
I want
Wait,
you-
are you going to show those masks? Because the masks are wild. Have you seen those masks?
Yeah.
And I'm
I've
not
seen
talking the
them.
latex. No. I'm
no.
not.
The
Latex.
$1,000 full face mask that like you put glasses on and a hat and dude, you are
Yeah. You can turn
pull it
your
up.
woman into a man very easily.
you
And,
need
it,
to
No,
ask
and,
that
and full
anymore.
and
I-
full people just walking by. Just
gonna-
wear
I'm
some
gonna- give
muted
me-
colors. Don't wear anything bright,
me a
muted
second.
colors, and you'll get through everything. Are you going to show one?
Give me. I have to look it up because we're talking about two different things. You guys are talking about like realistic 3D printed. Da 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 da. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this. You see this dude?
Yep.
I don't know what, Mexican or Hispanic. I mean, Latino, right?
Oh, yeah. I've seen those.
Okay, that's creepy.
Dude,
I've seen the one that looks like
that is
P.
that costs
Diddy.
$10.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, okay, it's not gonna fool you up at like 3 feet, maybe.
No, but that's going to
What do you
mess
know
up
what
the
it-
camera
Gonna mess up a camera
Sure
real quick.
is.
real
Yeah.
fast.
That's wild, dude. We
Especially
are
if you're
we are
somebody like-
living.
any of us, man. We put it on and you take it off and like if he didn't grow a beard that fast, we're good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And to do a
That's-
robbery or something like that, that's scary, man. That's scary.
That's very crazy. And these people are selling these masks for like, dude, not good. Not good.
What
I
if
wouldn't want to
anything
be in
we've
a
said would
city.
get us banned on YouTube already?
I'm surprised we've got viewers on YouTube when you look up there and see the
Yeah.
number.
I'm not sure.
All right,
Okay,
I got you
all right.
one. If you guys are looking for some extra money, I've got something here for you. This is real quick.
Makers have submitted for a new program, the Missouri Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program. And yes, it is exactly how it sounds. This program would train individuals to go after individuals who might be in our country illegally. And when I say might, I mean might, because these people would be going after tips that they had received from citizens from an online porthole, an email, or a phone number that would be set
Not
up.
porthole, it's porthole.
That these bounty hunters had a good tip and they found somebody who indeed was in our country illegally, and that person was arrested and detained. The person who submitted the tip would then be getting $1,000 reward.
Look at that.
I'm not sure how this would work exactly.
I know.
Like
I'm a little...
the reason that bounty hunters can, and maybe I'm mistaken about this, the reason that bounty hunters can do anything they can do is because the suspect already has like a warrant that's been violated and there's an arrest warrant for them. You can't just like roll around and be like, hey, are you a citizen? I think this is you on this list. I don't know. I'm not sure how this is going to work out.
There's an actual, you can pull up the Missouri law. I had it up yesterday looking at it, trying to see if people from outside of Missouri are able to participate, just for research purposes. But yeah, crazy.
Gonna be a bounty
Crazy.
hunter. Listen,
Yeah.
haven't we all wanted to be a bounty hunter at one time?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Even when we watched Dog
Heck yeah.
Bounty Hunter.
Dude,
I used to
Loved
watch
that
Dog the
show.
Bounty
I
Hunter.
love
Yeah,
Dog,
like-
man.
And you
Dude,
know what
he
was great
would
about
wrestle
that?
him,
It wasn't the
almost
fact
do
that
it.
he was catching people. He would catch him and put him in his back car and be like, "What's going on in your life, man? You can't be doing that." He was trying to,
Give him a cigarette, tell him
pop a
about
bear
Jesus.
these kids.
Look, here's
Great, man.
here's an actual
The other
picture.
day,
Of,
but Jesus loves you.
here's an actual picture I found of one of the bounty hunters in Missouri with this law.
Oh, come on. I hate this meme. Jeez.
Buddy. Oh, all right. Sorry. That's
Yeah,
Missouri.
You should be. You should be.
I know. I'm evil. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? We ain't got enough time for some of this stuff, but who cares? There was, you put something in here about an Ohio elementary school.
No, I didn't.
No, I did.
Oh, I know where you're going though.
Hang on. Let me get it. I saw this and I was like, what in the world? And now I'm gonna have to go grab it off of the show notes. Thankfully, I'm in our server where we keep our show notes. So in case I lose things, I
Hey,
can
have you been
find
to Discord yet? Discord's a great place. Not only can you get good information, you can mine Pi, and when it goes live, get a bunch of money. Maybe.
I set my username as doubting Jason on there. I don't know. Not sure. An Ohio elementary school is to allow a satanic temple to offer religious instruction to students. Ohio elementary school. Let me remind you, elementary school is like kindergarten to 6th grade, maybe
I don't
5th
think
grade.
religious is the right word though.
Organization asserts that Hale teaches students about the values like empathy, compassion, and justice in a fun environment without religious pressure or coercion. And
Why use the name Satan?
yeah, right.
Use a Unitarian.
Let's see, Marysville School District in Central Ohio is to counter Christian teaching in the classroom. The temple is opposed to Christian organizations like LifeWise Institute that teaches the Bible in public schools. However, this instruction is not mandatory and students must choose to participate. This is, okay. So what do we do for, what do you think about this, Dave? First of all, should we be teaching Bible in public school?
It depends.
Let me rewind my question a bit. Should we have public school?
No. Let's move on. Question
but
My
if
kids
we-
have thrived in the public school system.
yeah, I went to
so
public school.
I did too.
Yeah, and I did, but it was definitely different when I was in school. My kids are in school.
The school was different in many ways since we were in school. And JJ, you will understand that once your kids get into high school, you will understand all the different stuff that they have, the opportunities, but the extra pressures that they have from these right here. I mean, these provide so much animosity and stress, can provide so much animosity
Oh, they
and
certainly
stress
do.
towards children that, I mean, those are
The-
bad. That I'm
Phones are
so
bad for kids,
glad.
for sure.
You know, we had that joke that Gen Xers say. It's like, I'm glad we didn't have camera phones when I was a kid because I'd get in trouble, you know, and we make that joke. But it's honestly, it's kind of glad that we didn't have the ability to talk to anyone at any time, all the time, and find out where everybody's at it all the time.
Right.
You know, always knowing, always, you know.
Humans are not made for this, you know?
No.
Like it's
No.
not no, it's not good. I mean, we're adults and like and we're adults, and the only reason we're talking is because that dumb game, and that dumb game is mental poison. It was mental poison. It consumed thousands of hours of adult lives, and okay. Well, my wife's over here is like in creative community. Okay, my wife's giving me good points of this thing, but I'm trying
Yeah,
to
I mean,
say
she's
dude,
right.
I
I
just
have
flew to
said-
Texas to do a wedding for one of those.
Yeah,
No,
and
it's-
I've said 1,000 times, I'm like, I am thankful, even though I don't like what that game did in my life. I'm thankful
Right.
for that game because I would not be sitting here talking to you two.
Yeah.
that-
I still
that-
like,
it was
and if either of y'all want to join my retirement alliance,
No,
we will
no,
make bucks
no,
during the,
not-
no,
not-
no.
I haven't updated. I'm not doing
No,
that. Okay, so the game didn't actually cause our community. You know what it did? The game was
the game was the campfire that brought us together.
no, the game was so poorly engineered and under resourced that we had to solve our own problems. And so we created communities to solve our own problems. That is like communication with each other, because the internal communications is dog trash. And so it was happenstance that we created communities, but you know, it was accidental. But if you go all the way back down to what phone and the gotcha mechanisms of like stimulus, like payoff, stimulus, payoff, and the dopamine cycle that programs people, and especially kids, they're so
Do you
susceptible.
remember everybody's theories on opening crystals? And I mean, Bagel had
They're
the
still ridiculous.
No.
there was the one that everybody loved from some streamer that was like, you got to go out and go in 3 times or something. Bagel had the best one, and his very well might have been legit. His was factored on the time, the clock, and at the certain hour of whatnot, and a certain minute of every hour, the algorithm of the whatever will give you. I mean, he went through it on the show one time and talked about it. It was the best one. It was the best one. But and then come find out years later when we asked Gabe and whatnot, and they're like, as soon as you hit that button, your character's chosen. All the rest of that crap's just
It's just
ancillary.
it was decoration.
Yeah, it's to
Yeah, 'cause
make
you
you
could
go,
see
oh,
somebody
I'm so
while they're
close.
still spinning. You can see what they got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so close. I need to buy another one. Yeah.
Mine, it has to come from the bottom right corner, like the
That's
exact
what I- that's-
corner.
Yeah, it's got to come up from
that
the
was
bottom right corner. You got to pull
So
it
stupid.
out and come back in until it comes up from the
I
bottom.
tried
right corner.
that
I
stuff
remember
so
that
many
one.
times too,
It-
and it didn't work.
And then 1 out of 100, you would get a really good
Yeah.
pull, and you'd
But
be like,
you-
"Oh,
you
it
would-
works."
But you would have got
Oh,
1 out of
it
100
works.
anyway, because it was just a drop race. All right.
I have downloaded that game like 2 or 3 months ago. At Halloween, I downloaded it around
I haven't. I have not.
Halloween, and I was like, all right, I'm going to see what's going on. They got a lot of really cool new stuff in the game. So much stuff in the game,
I will
and it is
say-
really cool. I will hand it to them. It is really cool, but I still stand by what I've said for years about that game. There was way too many characters being introduced. They were being flooded in, and you're going to get to a point to where you've got however many hundred characters, and there's so much crap. You're going to have, and you still have to have a handful of characters to get through specific content,
Right.
even though there's
Yeah.
400
They have
characters.
there's the whole Rubik's Cube approach to beating certain characters now, which is a quote from APOC. He's hysterical. He's a Canadian
liked
player, but yeah, and we still keep in contact. But the Rubik's Cube approach to beating certain characters, so anybody can do it. You just got to Rubik's Cube it.
Yeah.
You got to know the.
I will.
Ridiculous.
I don't know about. Honestly, I'm under informed about that game now, and all categories, all characters, powers, all of that stuff. I don't know.
Well, honestly,
I've lost that.
You would
I
have
do
to
know
be
something.
bagel and royal type of mind. You'd have to be a royal
Mhm.
type of mind still to understand everything about that game. Because remember, you could ask Royal anything, who's the best person to beat so and so, and he knew it. You got to do this
Yeah.
and this and go backwards. I
So
mean, he
much
got
information
his
now.
Legends
Well,
title with like Daredevil or something like that.
For the longest time, I was saying the
Amazing.
audience for this game is shrinking, and they had to like increase their revenue per user because they're losing audience. And I was told, no, it's not true. It's still as good as ever. Da 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 da. So, because I guess it's a measure of pettiness. I have spent the last 5 years tracking their financial results.
That does not surprise
reading
me.
reading their Netmarble financials and recording the earnings and losses of
This is your
Netmarble.
spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. We need to have a chat afterwards
Why?
because I'm concerned about you.
Come on, man.
I love you.
So wait,
we need to have
what you have here are
intervention.
from 2020 quarter one. I have every quarterly report of Netmarble, but not just Netmarble, the fraction of Netmarble that is specifically Contest of Champions revenue. And you can
Those
see here
quarters,
it
those
goes,
spikes.
yeah.
Is that the Christmas sales?
Yep, quarter
Black Friday.
Yeah, usually. So you can see quarter 3, quarter 4, and then quarter 1, and then it drops and it goes down. But if you see the little dotted line,
Oh, the
it's
second
been
dot.
trending.
Yeah, the second dot. Every 4 dots, the second dot. That's going to be the July 4th sales.
Yeah. And then it drops off wildly. But the thing is, it spikes, but it's trending downward. And this graph down here, do you guys remember a game called Future Fight? So I kept the data of Contest of Champions and Future Fight.
I just got a great idea. Hang on.
Until Future Fight was canceled. So it's got a ways to go. So it's not dead yet, but it's not growing. Which means that basically Kabam is going to do whatever they do to just keep the atrophy to a
It did
limited
jump on their live stream the other day, their Twitch stream, and
Yeah.
they had at one point they had 32,000 people on there.
Sure.
And
What if
Yeah.
what if we started a podcast, a new unofficial Marvel Contest of Champions revamp? Wait a minute, just a little, hear me out. And
Okay.
what it is it's one old retired guy that's played for many, many years that still plays the game, and
That's you.
that's him. and two grizzled buttholes that don't like the game, and one
gonna
is
watch this.
completely obsessed with monitoring and tracking the downfall of
No,
Kabam.
I'm just here to watch it die. I'm just like,
That's all you need to do is just offer your cynicism. Dave can talk about how great the game is, and I can.
I didn't. No, I'm not saying it's great. That game
Yeah.
frustrates me. But I still log
So-
in, and I still pull a crystal
so
here and there.
every big thing they do is like, oh, this is going to be the so exciting thing. That so exciting thing is just to get you to spend money in the fourth quarter so they don't get fired because
that's the
they
time
are
of the game.
losing.
The fun stuff.
They are losing money every year, which means they are losing resources. Like they're going to have smaller staff, or there's consequences to this. This is not sustainable. Look at this. if you can see, I'm sorry, guys. I
But
know
this
you're
is
super interested in
natural.
my-
You've got to
Sure.
you've got to factor in the natural decline of a game, much less of a game, but much less a mobile game. The longevity of Marvel Contest of Champions is
Impressive.
it's
Oh,
very
sure.
impressive.
Yeah, but it's
Very
not.
impressive.
I'm just saying it's not growing. It
It's-
was.
But I would
was- it was a one
assume
time
a
in its own.
natural decline, especially in a mobile game. You would have thought this
Yeah.
game we would have predicted this game would have gone out years ago, to be honest.
So the red here is year over year. So this is like third quarter 2024 versus third quarter 2023, 18% decline. So what you have is multiple quarters in a row with declining revenues.
You know what I just noticed? Hang
Uh.
on, I'll bring this back up. You know what I just noticed? Let me see if this brought up you. Look what t-shirt I got on.
Oh, you're wearing your table shirt?
I'm wearing the shirt I wore on the Summoner Showdown.
Oh, wow.
This is the shirt that I had on.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
my bad.
Okay. I thought I would just point out how petty I am.
I think that's awesome. That's why I love
It
you.
doesn't take very much time anymore. Like initially, I had to read through all the Netmarble financial documents, and it took me a long time. But I was like, I'm going to prove you guys wrong when I say that this thing's dying. It's just dying slow. Okay. Where are we at? Oh, we got 5 minutes left. We got any stories we haven't really touched on?
I've got a fun one here that I can read for you guys, a space story here. So I'm just going to try to read through this.
Space. The
Yeah.
final frontier.
NASA has found something on Uranus, and there's more than 5,000 of them. So,
Middle
Uh,
school, David. Sorry.
yeah, you're beautiful. Your Uranus, is a beautiful, huge thing
Oh,
that sits
love
way out
Uranus.
there. And yes, I love Uranus. But they
Not
think
going there.
that Uranus and Neptune are hiding water underneath their gas.
there's
So
water in Uranus.
there may
Wait,
be
Uranus
a
has
lot.
gas?
There may be a lot of water in Uranus and a lot underneath the gas that's in Uranus.
And there's a lot of gas in Uranus. So
Yeah,
there's
'cause-
gas and water in Uranus.
Because Uranus is under a lot of pressure, right? There's a lot of pressure in Uranus. So under this,
Props to you. Because
under this extreme pressure in Uranus, which
My wife's eyes are
exceeds
rolling.
60,000 times that of Earth's pressure,
Oh,
water
really last night
yeah.
for dinner.
water enters a state of supercritical fluid in Uranus, changing the properties of gas to liquid in Uranus.
Wow.
It happens in Uranus.
It happens in Uranus and Neptune, but they
So
think
does it like
that they-
explode at some point?
I don't know if it would explode out of Uranus or not. I don't know if the gas gets expelled out of
Well,
Uranus.
the whole kind of surface of it is under a lot of tension. But if we shot a rocket up there and
It's like
poked it
smack,
through,
Shoot a
like
rocket to
took a
Uranus?
rocket to smack Uranus really
Might-
hard. You think it would
it might
vibrate
jet
the
out.
anus? Uranus.
Mm. Mm.
So
I'm
I
sure
just
people
thought that
right
was
here.
a very interesting story. Look, there's a picture of Uranus right there.
I think you just like talking about Uranus.
Save that on my phone.
It's one of my favorite.
Too Good says
times.
Uranus is a beautiful thing.
Oh, cool.
How close were you guys? And I know you guys
This
talked a
topic
lot.
stinks.
Oh God.
Oh my god.
That's the first one that gets any kind of response from you. Like
really
5
bad.
minutes of Uranus jokes and that gets a response. Oh man.
I've
Come on,
had
wipe
that
it up.
joke.
Let's go.
Hey,
I've had that joke in my secret stash for like
got,
3 weeks, man. Just
guys
waiting
haven't
for
already-
that opportunity.
there's some sort of show coming out on Amazon Prime called Secret Level, and it seems that either because of Secret Level or because of it's December and it's almost Christmas, there's a bunch of free games if you have Amazon Prime. So go over to
Right.
Prime Gaming. Check out the My wife's on the thing now.
It's okay.
So this morning I scooped up like let's see,
Yeah, you scoop.
Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter Nights. You sound like
Go
you're
Drist. No. Those are important games.
No,
to
those
the,
are all good games.
D&D peoples.
Absolutely. Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, those are great classic D&D games. I have found on the PlayStation Plus you can download The Witchers, the redone, and so I'm playing through The Witcher 3 for the very first time. It is really awesome.
Well, I just wanted to shout it out that there's a lot of good stuff over there right now that just grab it if you can't, even if you can't get it right now, just go get it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the
You'll
Witcher
eventually have
is.
something that'll work.
Yeah. Oh, and you can also play them on Luna, which is like you go grab them on Prime Gaming and then you can play them on Luna. Luna is free if you have Prime.
Is it?
Oh. Apparently I ignored something. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a rough morning. All right, let's do jokes.
Wait, I'm claiming games. Okay.
Playing
I'm
games.
doing Christmas jokes this month. So what do y'all call Santa's little helpers?
I don't know.
Subordinate clauses.
That's pretty good. Subordinate clauses.
Subordinate, they're helpers. They're under.
Oh, okay.
You know, during the Christmas time, it's a time that you like to give to charities and whatnot. And it makes me remember that I lost a lot of money supporting a charity one time. The charity was said that they were giving leather jackets to children to help them look cooler, and it turned out to be a Fonzie scheme. I was taking out a lot of money.
I asked. I was out yesterday. I told you yesterday we were out doing a bunch of stuff and fancy dinner and all this stuff. I ran into a French guy. French. I was like, "Hey, do you play video games?" He said, "Oui."
Hey, one more video game thing before we leave. It made me think of it. This year is PlayStation's 30th anniversary. I have been a PlayStation kid since the very first PlayStation. I mean, that's why I played them, because Final Fantasy was on PlayStation. And they're giving you the option to change your startup screen, and they're doing some other things.
Oh, yeah.
So when my startup screen on my PlayStation 5 logs in, it looks like the PlayStation 1 startup screen with the old... It's so nostalgic. It is really good. They did that and me to say as an old, it did bring back. I was like, oh, I felt like a little kid sitting in my room fixing to play Final Fantasy VII again. It was awesome.
Wasn't the original Metal Gear Solid? Wasn't it on PlayStation?
I think they were Nintendo.
PlayStation 1.
Final Fantasy started on
Metal Gear
Nintendo.
Solid.
Metal Gear was Sega, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Final
Metal Gear
Fantasy
was
VII
Sega.
was PlayStation. They didn't get Nintendo for a long
No,
time.
the original Final Fantasy games were Nintendo.
Yeah, the original
Final Fantasy 1 and
Fantasies
2,
were Nintendos.
maybe
were,
even 3.
yeah,
I was a Nintendo guy.
yeah, I was too. And then because I played the Final Fantasies, and when they said
Actually,
that
owned
PlayStation,
stock in Nintendo.
I was going to go to that. That's why I went to PlayStation, was because of Final Fantasy VII.
Mhm.
That's
Right.
why I still own one today, because of one game. Yeah,
Yeah, I
All
remember playing Final Fantasy 7 on PlayStation.
the remake's pretty good. They just hadn't got it all done yet.
All right, guys, we're gonna be back mañana.
Wait, did you give us a joke?
Yeah.
Or did I forget it?
You forgot it.
Is
It
it
was
bad?
so good.
You didn't get my. Do you want to do
Yeah.
another joke? How about this? I just got fired from a florist. I took too many
Yeah?
leaves.
Sir, no, sir.
Maggie, what are the best Christmas sweaters made of?
Oh, I'm not sure what.
Feliz Navidad.
All right, I got one. Last one.
Oh no!
I asked my doctor about a cure for my skin turning blue and purple, and he said, "Don't hold your breath." Thank you, kid.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter lose her next swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teeth. Essay for a comment, he said no. Watch now, the Internet Dad Show. Subscribe quick, the Squid
My wife is over here yelling in her microphone.